I'm recording this as a vlog to start this channel with reflections on addiction. I'm lucky. I'm an addict, but my addiction is caffeine and not something heavier. Uh, it genetically runs on one side of my family. Um, and as a Buddhist, I tried recovery dharma as a kind of, program through which to address this. And the way it's structured, I just think didn't fit my personality. And so I'm trying to begin to work through this through the 12 steps, but with my higher power being the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. I'm a Theravada Buddhist, and so that's the methodology through and the lens through which I see life. And so naturally, I want to use that as a core part of recovery from this addiction. Um, Usually, when I tell people, I'm a caffeine addict, they're like, oh, me too. I like coffee. And it's not like that. For me, it's binging for several days, high amounts of caffeine, and then not sleeping for days and having to change plans because the day before I couldn't help myself, had to have caffeine. And you know, it's very high amounts of caffeine and it's not healthy. I have high blood pressure. I should not be doing this. And, but I'm an addict. And I believe all addicts have the same problem, regardless of the addiction, which is the mental craving, which is the cause of the hanging on to the thing. I don't think the thing a person is addicted to, whether it's being around another person or gaming or alcohol or in my case caffeine, um, I don't think the addiction matters so much as viewing what's going on in the mind that creates the conditions to keep relying on this X or Y thing that one attaches to. And so today would be day zero. I've been having it less. I haven't been doing it like binging like crazy like I used to and stuff. I've reduced the use of it and have less dramatic episodes of having caffeine, but I still am struggling to kick it. And kind of going over the 12 steps and really putting it in the context of the Dhamma, which is the teachings of the Buddha, I find there is a change in my mind, and when I go to do it, I'm feeling less pulled, and I feel like I'm really close to a breakthrough with quitting it. I had it today because I don't know why, and I'm thinking, I just started this, and so maybe this would be a useful way to reflect on it and connect with other people who suffer the same thing, which is addiction, regardless of what the addiction is, and especially if someone's addicted to caffeine in the way I am and never gets it treated seriously, like the way others view it. Like I said, when people go, "Oh yeah, I'm addicted to coffee too," it's like, no, it's a little more than that. Um, I had it today. I just feel like I don't feel the high from it anymore that waned an hour or two ago. So now I'm just kind of alert, maybe a little bit manic. I'm bipolar, so that doesn't help. But I guess I have to start today with saying, okay, this is the last time, and I'm going to try and record on here on this to reflect on it. Hopefully, someone else can gain something from my reflections on my addiction. Um, the thing with addiction is, although with some addictions like caffeine can come chemical dependence, not all addictions do have chemical dependence. You could be addicted to cannabis and you know you can't become chemically dependent on cannabis, but you could be very addicted. Just like you could be addicted to video games and there's no chemical in your system that's a part of that. But the problem is when I go to do the thing, I go to have caffeine, there's something in my mind saying, this isn't enough. The world is as it is not enough. It must be enhanced or changed or made better by my substance of choice or activity of choice. And then I always have it and it's nice for a little bit, but then like the negatives are always way more than the positives. Like I will sleep terrible tonight and I will feel like total garbage tomorrow, for sure. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. Um, and I feel like it makes my quality of life worse, and then my quality of time with my family worse. I have a partner and son, and for their sake, I need to quit. And hopefully, this becomes something that's useful to someone out there, and then I could say, well, it served a purpose then. So today being day 0 because I had it today, and tomorrow will be day 1 without it. I'm kind of taking the first step of saying, okay, my life has become unmanageable because of my addiction. It's a thing that feels out of my control, but I'm choosing to rely on my path to help transform myself in those areas where I'm not seeing correctly. I'm seeing out of the ignorance of craving and aversion, and I'm choosing to use it to alter myself in those ways where I'm making errors so that I no longer go to the addiction for, the high of, just having had a lot of caffeine and feeling that buzz. And so, yeah, so I start today then. I've quit a few times. I became really addicted to it. I like to write, and I was writing a novel. And I had quit caffeine a few years before. I was never really super addicted to it or anything. I enjoyed it occasionally and stuff. But around the time of this, I just started drinking a lot because I felt like it made writing easier to be, juiced on caffeine and really humming. And that formed the kind of feedback loop of, oh, this is giving something to me. This is enhancing something. And then my brain got into the cycle. And, now here I am. That was in March 2022, and this is December 2025. The longest I've quit is like 2 months. Earlier this year, I quit. Or at the end of summer, I quit about, I think, 2 months. I don't even remember exactly what it was. But, I didn't use a process. I just forced it. I think what the 12 steps give me is a process by which I, transform myself so I don't fall back into it rather than brute forcing it. Because the temptation will always be there. I'll always be a caffeine addict or someone who, if they have caffeine, is subject to this happening again. So I just can't have caffeine for the rest of my life, and that's fine. Now I just need to live that through, and I can. Things like the 12 steps give people the power to transform themselves so they don't continue these things. And I understand the 12 steps for some people are difficult in terms of like it uses the term higher power. I don't like that phrasing of it. I don't believe in a creator God as a Buddhist, and it doesn't bother me personally, but I don't like it because it basically dissuades people who don't believe in a creator God, who aren't me, and I don't think that's good. I would use the phrase change agent. And things that could fit in there that aren't God are like secular Buddhism, like a philosophy that's not really associated with a god. Stoicism is a good one. I don't know much about it, but like Epicureanism could be your change agent. I think it's about finding a pathway that transforms the self, so the self, so the being that you are no longer makes that choice. And when it's phrased in a God sense, it can be alienating. For some people, sure, okay, that works, but there's a lot of people that doesn't work for, and I feel it's alienating. And so, I would rephrase it that way. But anyway, today's day zero. I'm going to keep trying to check in, talk about what I'm going through with it, talk about what this addiction is to me, and hopefully someone somewhere out there can connect with it and it can be beneficial. So I guess that's all I have to say for now. May this benefit anyone out there that needs to see it. May all beings be happy and free from suffering. And may you be well.